Midnight has already passed when the snow begins to fall. Not suddenly, not all at once. It starts quietly, as if the night waited until the day was fully finished. You're in the car, the engine running low and steady, the road stretching out ahead in a soft line of dark. The clock on the dashboard reads just after 12. A new day, technically. But nothing feels new yet. The town is quieter than it was an hour ago. Even the lights seem to have lowered their voices. Snow drifts down through the glow of the headlights, slow and patient. Each flake appears, then disappears, replaced by another just like it. There's no need to follow any one of them for long. You drive without hurry. There's nowhere you need to be quickly. The road is familiar enough to trust, but empty enough to let your thoughts rest. Houses sit back from the street, their windows mostly dark now. A few porch lights remain on, not for company, but out of habit. Christmas Eve lingers softly in the background, not loud, not asking for anything. A wreath hangs crooked on a door you pass. A strand of lights glows faintly behind a curtain. These details don't pull at you. They simply exist, then fade behind you as the car moves on. The snow thickens just a little, muting the edges of the world. Sounds soften. Distance feels shorter. The night seems to fold in around the road, holding it gently in place. Your hands rest easily on the steering wheel. Your shoulders drop without being told. This hour doesn't demand explanations. It doesn't ask you to review the day or prepare for what comes next. After midnight feels like permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to carry less. Permission to let the night do some of the work for you. The car continues forward, steady and unremarkable, as snow falls into the space ahead of you, quietly marking time, one soft moment at a time. The road stretches on, smooth and unbroken. Snow continues to fall into the space ahead of the car, softening the distance between where you are and where you're going. The night feels settled now, as if it has made room for you to pass through without comment. The hum of the engine becomes more noticeable, steady and low. Not a sound that asks for attention, just something that stays with you. You adjust your grip on the wheel slightly, then let your hands relax again. The movement is small, familiar. There's a sense of company in the car tonight, not the kind that speaks, the kind that rests quietly beside you. And the drive continues. The car moves at an easy pace, tires whispering over the road where snow has just begun to settle. Headlights carve a gentle path forward, revealing only what you need to see, nothing more. You pass the edge of town, where the streetlights thin out and the darkness grows wider. The snow catches the light briefly, then slips past, unbothered by being noticed. The seat beside you remains empty, and yet it doesn't feel unused. There's a presence there, not physical, not exact, just the quiet awareness of someone you've recently been close to. Someone the night hasn't fully let go of yet. You don't turn your head. You don't need to. The dashboard glows softly, numbers and symbols doing their work without asking you to check them. The radio stays off. Silence feels more fitting right now. Your breathing settles into the rhythm of the drive. In, out. Each breath arrives a little slower than the last. The road curves gently, guiding the car without effort. Snow gathers along the edges, tracing the path in pale lines that don't insist you follow them perfectly. You remember the station without replaying it. The lights, the quiet platform, the way the night felt ready when you left. That memory stays light. It doesn't press in. The car continues forward, holding you both, the one who's driving and the one you're carrying with you in this quieter way, moving through the falling snow, unhurried and intact. As the night opens farther ahead, the snow grows a little thicker as you drive, blurring the edges of the road just enough to soften your focus. Not enough to make you tense, just enough to slow everything down. The seat beside you stays quiet, unmoved, unclaimed. And yet, there's a familiarity there. You remember how it felt when someone rode with you like this before, not talking much, not needing to, just sharing the space between one place and another. A hand resting near the gear shift, the warmth that didn't ask to be noticed. The memory arrives gently, then pauses. You don't follow it any further than that. Your eyes stay on the road, letting the headlights do their work. Snowflakes drift through the beams, each one catching the light for a moment before slipping away. The world beyond the windshield feels far off now, muted, unimportant. Inside the car, everything is contained. The steady hum beneath you, the quiet rhythm of your breathing, the sense that nothing else needs to fit into this moment. You slow slightly without realizing it, not because the road demands it, because your body knows there's time. A side street passes by, dark and empty. A row of houses sits back from the road, their windows mostly unlit. One light remains on somewhere deeper inside, steady and patient. You pass it without turning. The snow continues to fall, erasing sharp lines, smoothing everything it touches. It feels like the night is helping you carry what you don't need to set down yet. The empty seat beside you holds that quietly, without judgment, without weight. You breathe in again, cool air, clear. You breathe out, slower still. The car moves on through the soft dark, keeping its gentle pace as you drive with this quiet company, present, unspoken, and safe enough to remain exactly as it is. The road narrows slightly as you continue on, the snow thickening just enough to suggest a change ahead. Not a turn you planned, just a place the night seems to guide you toward. Your foot eases off the accelerator without effort. The car responds immediately, slowing as if it expected this moment too. A wider, open space appears through the falling snow. Not bright, not busy, just there. You signal gently and guide the car toward the edge of the road. The tires crunch softly as you come to a stop, the sound muted almost as soon as it's made. The engine idles. The world holds. You haven't arrived somewhere. You've simply paused. The car rests where it is, lights still on, illuminating a quiet stretch of snow-covered ground ahead. Beyond it, a small square opens up, empty now, bordered by low buildings set back in the dark. At the far side stands a structure you recognize without needing to name it. Stone walls, a modest tower, windows dark, except for a faint glow near the entrance. You don't reach for the door. You don't shift in your seat. There's no reason to go inside. The snow falls more steadily here, gathering on the hood of the car, softening its edges the way it softens everything else tonight. Each flake lands, then disappears into the white already forming. From somewhere beyond the square, a bell sounds, low, distant. It doesn't echo sharply. It doesn't call anyone in. It simply marks the time as it passes. One slow note, then another, spaced far enough apart to let the silence return in between. You stay where you are, hands resting loosely in your lap now, the steering wheel holding its place without you. The empty seat beside you remains quiet, present, unremarkable. This pause doesn't ask you to decide anything. It doesn't expect movement. It's enough to be stopped here, just for now, with the engine humming softly, the snow continuing its patient fall, and the night allowing you to remain exactly where you are, without entering, without leaving, without needing to explain why. The engine continues its low, steady hum, a sound that feels more like background than movement now. You remain in your seat, aware of the warmth inside the car and the cold settling quietly outside. The contrast feels gentle, not sharp. Snow gathers along the windshield, catching briefly in the glow of the headlights before sliding away. The world beyond seems content to blur. Another bell sounds in the distance. Then silence returns. The space between the notes feels longer than the notes themselves. You notice how the pause allows everything else to settle. Your breathing, your shoulders, Even the small thoughts that arrived with you begin to loosen their edges. The place in front of you stays closed. Dark windows. A door that doesn't ask to be opened. You don't feel shut out. You feel unrequired. There's a quiet understanding in that. The memory of having just arrived, of walking off a platform, of guiding the car onto empty streets, fades into something less specific now. Not gone, just softened, like snow filling in footprints. You glance briefly toward the seat beside you. Nothing has changed. And somehow, that feels reassuring. You're allowed to stop like this, to wait without a reason, to stay without entering. Outside, the snow continues to fall, marking time more gently than any clock. Inside, the car holds its small circle of warmth, steady and unchanged. Another bell rings, farther away this time, its sound thinned by distance and snowfall. You let it pass through the night without following it. The engine idles on, the snow falls, and you remain exactly where you are, paused in this quiet moment, held between places, with nothing asking you to move before you're ready. The pause stretches on, calm and unbroken. Nothing urges you forward. Nothing pulls you back. The snow keeps falling. And with it, the sense of time begins to feel less exact. Minutes don't line up neatly anymore. They soften, overlapping like layers of quiet. Then, through the stillness, a sound reaches you again. Not closer, not louder, just present. The bell rings once more, distant and low, carried gently through the snow. It arrives without warning, then fades before you can decide how far away it is. The sound doesn't belong to the building in front of you. It doesn't belong to the car. It belongs to the night. You listen without leaning toward it, without counting. The bell doesn't ask to be measured. It only marks that time is passing, slowly and without insistence. Snow muffles everything else. The engine hum quiets further into the background. Even your breathing seems to soften around the sound. Another bell follows. Then a pause. The space between them feels intentional, as if the night itself is setting the rhythm. Not to wake anyone, not to gather anyone, just to keep time from disappearing entirely. You notice how the sound settles inside you. Not sharp, not emotional, simply grounding. The bell doesn't carry a message. It doesn't signal arrival or departure. It only reminds you that this moment exists and that it's allowed to linger. You remain where you are, headlights steady, snow falling evenly now. The seat beside you stays quiet. The memory you brought with you stays soft, held at a distance that feels safe. Another bell sounds, farther away than before, its edges blurred by snow and space. You let it fade completely before you expect the next one. There's no rush. The night keeps its time gently, one distant note at a time, while you sit inside the pause, listening, breathing, and allowing the quiet to deepen without needing it to lead anywhere yet. The bells continue, but less often now. One sound, then a longer stretch of quiet, as if the night is spacing them out on purpose. You stop anticipating the next one. When it comes, it comes. When it doesn't, the silence feels complete on its own. Snow thickens in the space between you and the sound, softening it further each time it travels. The bell no longer feels like it's coming from a place. It feels like it's coming from distance itself, from time. You notice how your body responds without instruction. Your chest rises and falls more slowly. Your hands rest where they are, no longer adjusting, no longer checking. The bell sounds again, lower now, thinner at the edges. It doesn't linger. It passes through the night the way breath passes through you. In, out. There's comfort in how little the sound asks of you. It doesn't carry memory forward. It doesn't pull anything up from the past. It simply exists, then lets go. You realize you don't need to hold on to the moment between bells. It holds itself, The car remains still. The place in front of you remains closed and quiet. The seat beside you remains gently occupied by nothing you need to explain. Another bell reaches you, barely there this time, as if it's already on its way out before it arrives. You don't follow it with your thoughts. You let it dissolve. Snow continues to fall, layering the night with softness. Sound, memory, and motion all seem to lower together, settling into something simpler. Eventually, the bells grow so distant that you're no longer sure whether the silence comes before them or after. And that uncertainty feels peaceful. You sit there, surrounded by snow and quiet, as time continues on without needing your attention, marked softly somewhere far away by a sound that no longer asks to be heard. The bells fade until you're no longer sure they're there at all. What remains feels quieter than silence, as if the night has finished marking time and decided to let everything rest. Snow continues to fall, thicker now, closing the distance between sound and stillness. It gathers gently on every surface, changing the way the world holds itself. And as the snow deepens, something else begins to soften too. The snowfall grows steadier, filling the space around the car with slow, deliberate motion. Headlights catch fewer edges now. Shapes blur sooner. The world seems content to lose its sharpness. Snow absorbs what sound remains. The engine hum lowers. The air inside the car feels heavier, calmer, as if it's settled into place. You notice how the quiet makes room for memory, not the kind that rushes in, but the kind that drifts close and waits to be noticed. A small image surfaces, nothing complete, just the sense of someone sitting beside you once. The warmth that lingered even after the door closed. A presence that didn't need conversation to feel real. The memory doesn't speak. It doesn't ask to be held. It simply exists, softened by distance and time, like the outlines of houses disappearing behind falling snow. Your breathing stays slow, in, out. The memory moves with it, rising and falling without weight. Outside, the snow keeps layering the night, smoothing over what once felt defined. Inside, the car remains still, holding warmth and quiet in equal measure. The image beside you loses its edges. It doesn't vanish. It relaxes, becoming less specific, less demanding. And that feels right. The snow continues its patient work, settling the world into something gentler, while memory follows its lead, loosening, quieting, and allowing itself to rest without needing to be resolved. The snow keeps falling, layer after layer, until the world outside feels padded and distant. Even light moves more slowly now. Headlights don't travel as far. Shadows soften before they can take shape. Nothing reaches you in a hurry. Inside the car, the quiet deepens. The memory that arrived earlier drifts a little closer, then settles. It doesn't bring words with it, only a sense of shared time, moments that once filled a space without needing to be named. You remember small things, the sound of breathing beside you, the weight of another presence during a drive like this. Not sharply, not all at once. The details don't stay long enough to become heavy. They rise, then dissolve, like snowflakes meeting the windshield and slipping away. Your body remains at ease, shoulders low, jaw relaxed, breathing slow and steady, guided by nothing more than the quiet itself. The seat beside you feels warmer now, not because anyone is there, but because the memory has lost its edges. It no longer asks to be acknowledged. It rests where it is, light and uninsistent. Snow continues its patient work outside, covering what was once visible, smoothing over tracks, erasing the need to remember exactly how things were arranged. The memory follows the same rhythm. It doesn't disappear. It becomes less defined. You no longer feel the need to understand it or place it in time. It's enough to know it existed and that it no longer needs your attention to remain real. The car holds steady in its small circle of warmth. The night holds everything else. As snow deepens, the space around you feels simpler, fewer edges, fewer demands, and within that softened quiet, both the world and your memory settle together, resting easily, without weight, without urgency, allowing the moment to continue just as it is. The snow reaches a point where it no longer feels like it's falling. It feels like it's staying. The world outside the car becomes a quiet field of white and shadow, details softened beyond recognition. Distance loses meaning. Near and far begin to feel the same. Inside, the memory you've been carrying grows lighter still. It's no longer an image, no longer a moment, just a sense of having once shared space with someone. Nothing more specific than that. A feeling without edges, a presence without form. You don't try to hold it in place. You don't worry about losing it. The memory seems content to rest the way it is, suspended in the quiet, needing nothing from you. Your breathing continues, slow and even, as if guided by the snowfall itself. Each breath arrives gently. Each breath leaves without taking anything with it. The car feels less like something you're sitting in and more like something holding you. Warmth stays consistent. Stillness stays kind. Outside, snow fills in everything that once asked to be noticed. Tracks disappear. Lines soften. The night simplifies itself. Inside, the same thing happens. Thoughts drift farther apart. The space between them stretches, wide and calm. Nothing rushes in to take their place. The memory fades into that space. Not gone, just no longer separate from the quiet around it. You're no longer carrying it. You're resting beside it. Snow continues to settle, creating a world where nothing needs to be recalled clearly, and nothing needs to be decided. The night holds steady. The car remains still, and in this softened space, where snow, silence, and memory have all learned how to settle, you find yourself doing the same, easing into a calm that doesn't ask for attention, explanation, or effort. Just rest. The stillness holds for a while longer, not because it needs to, because nothing has asked it to end yet. Snow continues to rest against the world, and inside the car, the quiet feels complete. But somewhere beneath it, a small readiness begins to form. Not urgency, just the sense that the pause has done its work. The night hasn't changed. You have. You place your hands back on the steering wheel, the movement slow and familiar. The engine responds with a gentle shift in tone, steady and reassuring. Headlights brighten the snow ahead once more, revealing a narrow path forward. Not wide, not demanding, just enough to move through. You ease the car into motion. The tires roll softly over the snow-covered road, leaving tracks that don't feel permanent. Behind you, the place where you stopped fades quickly, already beginning to blend back into the night. The bell doesn't sound again, or maybe it does, too far away to matter. Either way, you don't wait for it. The road opens gradually, guiding you without instruction. Snow continues to fall, meeting the windshield in quiet streaks that come and go without pattern. Your breathing stays slow. Your body remains settled. Movement doesn't disturb the calm you found. It carries it with you. The seat beside you feels lighter now, still present, but no longer holding anything you need to attend to. Just space, just quiet company in its simplest form. You drive on, unhurried, letting the car glide through the softened night. Snow, road, and motion blend together into something steady and kind. There's nowhere you need to arrive right now. It's enough to keep moving gently forward, held by the night, as the world continues to rest around you. The road continues for a while, smooth and forgiving. Snow thins slightly, then thickens again, never fully stopping. Headlights reveal less now, as if the night is gently closing its eyes. You don't notice when your thoughts grow quieter. They simply stop arriving. The car moves on, steady and contained, until even motion begins to feel optional. And then, Without needing to decide it, you let yourself rest inside that feeling. The drive fades into something softer, not an ending, just a settling. The sound of the engine lowers into the background until it's barely there. The rhythm of the road smooths out, each movement blending into the next. Snow continues to fall somewhere beyond the glass, but you no longer track it. It happens on its own. Your breathing becomes the most noticeable thing now. Slow, even. Each breath arrives gently, then leaves without effort. The space around you feels wide and safe. Nothing presses in. Nothing waits for a response. The night holds everything at a comfortable distance. The seat supports you fully. The warmth remains steady. Your body rests exactly where it is. Thoughts drift past without forming. Images soften before they become clear. Memory, motion, and sound all lower together, settling into the same quiet layer. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to mark. The night doesn't need your attention anymore. Snow continues its patient work outside, smoothing the world into rest. Inside, you remain still, supported, and unhurried. Breath in, breath out. And with each slow moment, the edges of wakefulness soften further, allowing you to sink gently into the calm that's already here. Quiet, uninterrupted.